Let me ask you something most people are too afraid to answer. When was the last time you hurt your parents and pretended it didn't matter? You snapped at them, ignored them, made them feel small, or worse, made them feel unwanted. And you told yourself, they'll get over it. They always do. But here's the truth. The Bible doesn't soften. Honor your father and mother, so that your days may be long in the land. Exodus 20:12. This is the only commandment with a promise, which means breaking it isn't a mistake, it's rebellion. So here's the question that should trouble you. If you died tonight, and God showed you every wound you caused your parents, would you survive the truth? Because judgment won't hide anything, and neither will your conscience. Part 1. The Catholic view of the fourth commandment. People like to pretend this commandment is small, but the Church treats it as foundational because the family is the first place where love, obedience, humility, sacrifice, and patience are learned. If you fail here, you fail everywhere. The Catechism doesn't mince words. The family is the original cell of social life. CCE 2207. Meaning what? Your relationship with your parents shapes how you see authority, how you understand love, how you forgive, how you treat God, how you form your own family. So ask yourself, if your parents looked like the way you treat them, what would that image say about your soul? Why is it easier to respect a boss who pays you than a father who sacrificed his youth for you? Why do we show patience to a stranger's mistakes but explode at our mother for one small comment? Why do we pretend our parents don't understand while God says honoring them is linked to blessing? Let this hit you. God is not judging your parents here, He's judging you. Part 2. The hidden sins against parents. People think sin must be dramatic. Shouting, cursing, pushing, fighting. No, some of the most serious wounds are subtle. The sigh you give when they call your name, the irritation in your voice, the disrespect hidden behind jokes, the way you correct them harshly in public, the "I don't have time" excuse, the way you walk away when they're talking, choosing your phone over their presence, rolling your eyes at their advice, acting like they're outdated or dumb. These are sins Catholics rarely confess, but they sit like poison in the soul. Ask yourself, when your mother repeats a story, do you listen or get annoyed? When your father gives old-fashioned advice, do you mock him internally? When they make mistakes, do you treat them with kindness or superiority? Remember, your parents are aging while you complain. Their hands that once held you are getting weaker. Their memory is fading while you roll your eyes. One day, you'll wish for one more lecture, one more story, one more chance to be patient. But by then, you'll be staring at a grave. Part 3. Why this sin becomes terrifying at death. Death has a way of stripping away your lies. When life collapses into your final breath, your excuses die with it. Suddenly, the soul sees clearly. You weren't busy. You were selfish. You weren't stressed. You were prideful. You didn't move on from your parents. You abandoned them emotionally. And here's the frightening part. At death, God may show you every moment you wounded them. From their point of view, not yours. Imagine feeling the loneliness your mother felt when you stopped sitting with her. Imagine feeling the humiliation your father felt when you spoke to him like he was useless. Imagine seeing tears you never knew they cried because they didn't want to bother you. Would you be able to stand that truth? Because the Bible warns, nothing is hidden that will not be revealed. Luke 12:2. Your parents may have forgiven you silently, but God will still show you the truth. Part 4. The judgment scene. The particular judgment is not a courtroom, it's a revelation. Everything you ever said or did to your parents is shown as it truly was. No filters, no justifications, no, I didn't mean it like that. God shows your life from 3 angles. 1, how you saw it. 2, how your parents experienced it. 3, how God judged it. And this is where many souls collapse in horror. Proverbs gives a disturbing metaphor. The eye that mocks a father and scorns a mother will be plucked out by ravens. This is spiritual blindness. A soul that dishonors parents becomes blind to truth and only realizes it when it's too late. Ask yourself, if the last thing you ever said to your parents became the final record, would you want God to replay it? Part 5. Stories from Catholic Tradition. Story 1. The Arrogant Son. He was educated, successful, respected. But with his father, he was cruel. He mocked him for being slow, ignored him in family gatherings, treated him like an inconvenience. One night, he died unexpectedly. At the wake, the priest said the man's face looked frozen in fear, like he had seen something horrifying at the moment of death. People whispered, maybe he finally saw the truth. Story 2. The daughter who refused to forgive her mother made mistakes in her youth and apologized for them dozens of times. But the daughter stayed cold. She punished her mother with silence for years. When the mother died, she was crying, not for her pain, but for her daughter's soul. The church teaches refusing forgiveness is a sin that can echo into eternity. Ask yourself brutally, who are you punishing with silence today? And what happens if they die before you soften? Part 6. God's justice and God's mercy. God's mercy is real, but mercy doesn't erase responsibility. It transforms it if you respond. 1 John 1:9 promises forgiveness, but only to the one who confronts the truth. Honestly ask yourself, have you confessed dishonor toward your parents, or have you justified it? Have you apologized with humility, or do you keep waiting for the right moment? Have you repaired the damage, or are you hoping time will magically heal it? Here's a fact people hate. God forgives sins, but He does not erase consequences. If your parents died, hurt, that wound stays in your story. If they're alive, you still have time to heal it, but that time is shrinking every day. Part 7. What you must do before it's too late. Reflect on these. When did you last tell your parents, I love you? When did you last comfort them? When did you last put your ego aside? When did you last ask forgiveness without excuses? When did you last pray for them sincerely? If they died tonight, would you live with peace or lifelong regret? Because here's the brutal truth. Your parents' tears may testify for you or against you on the day of judgment. Which side will they stand on? Part 8. Final reflection. Your parents don't need perfection from you. They need honor. They need gratitude. They need love. They need respect. If you've hurt them, fix it. If they're old, protect them. If they're sick, care for them. If they're far away, call them. If they've passed, pray for their soul. Because God will ask you about them, and your answer will define your eternity. Like, share, subscribe this video, and don't forget, press the bell icon.